All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. I have been talking about form validation, and I had gone through about a 7-step process of doing form validation with vanilla plain JavaScript. Now I'm looking at jQuery, and rather than writing a boatload of jQuery, I've decided to use the jQuery validation plugin. In part 1, I explained what the plugin was. I showed it in action, so to speak, by looking at a couple videos. Now, this will probably end up being a 4-part series. Part 2, I'm going to figure out what my fields are that I want to use and what the rules are going to be and the messages. Then in part 3, I'll do the rules, and in part 4, I'll do the messages. We'll see how that works. All right, so I'm just going to literally bring these up here. In fact, this will probably take too long if I do it that way, so let's see. I'm going to come in here and just open up a new window, shrink this way the hay down, bring this back up, which was, you know what, this will work out perfectly. I'll come in here and I will split the screen, so I will right mouse click and choose move to other view. Now I've got it in halves. All right, so I want this one here. There we go. So I need my social security number. I need my first name. I need my last name. I need my address. I need my city. I need my state. I need my zip code. I need my cell phone. Let's just call it cell for now. I need my email. I need my shift. I need my contact via. I need my education. I need my password. I need my confirm password. Now I'm going to try to go a little further in here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These are the ones I've been dealing with before. But let's see if we can put them all in here. So I'll have birth date. I'll have favorite color. That one I'm not sure if it's even worth trying to validate. I'll have personal website. Oh. And I will have credit card number, which again I may have to add something to do that. All right, so that should be all of my fields. I hope I didn't miss any. So I'm going to grab this, do a file, save as, and I'll put it right here. That'll work well. All right, and I'm going to just call this validation fields and rules. All right. Don't know. Will it let me bring it over there? Well, I want to move this over, and I want this to take up virtually everything here. All right. In fact, let's just get rid of that. Well, not letting me get rid of it, but I don't want to take a chance on removing something I might need. So my social security number, what? Let's see. First, it's going to be required. Second, it must be in a format NNN-NN-NNNN. All right. The first name is going to be required, and it'll have to be 2 to 50 characters. The last name will be identical to the first name. All right, the address, let's say we'll put in here 1, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But we're going to say here 1 to 75 characters for the address. And we'll make city the same thing. Now for state, cannot be, whoops, whatever we had there, which was what? Let me look and see what this is so I can close that. I don't need that, so. And this, that was the one I showed in the video. I really don't need that. You know what? I might want to keep that. Yeah, we'll save it. We'll just call it syntax. All right, just in case I do want that. Now, okay, so this is where I want to be. But I want to open what I've been working on in here. I don't know if that's the right one or not. It is. So I can use this, and all I want is I want to grab that message for the state. So I cannot be this. All right. Cannot be. Okay. So in other words, it's required. But it cannot be that. All right, so it's got to be one of the states that are in the list. Zip code is also going to be required. And for the zip code, it's got to be in either a format 12345 or 12345-1234. The cell phone is required, and the format will be 123-123-1234. The email will be required, and it must be a valid email. All right. For shift, required, i.e. one only must be chosen. All right. The contact via, which was the checkbox, was required, and we'll say one or more must be chosen. The education, again, required, but only one must be chosen. The password is required, and it has to be 10 to 25 characters in length. The confirm password is required, and it must match the password exactly. The birth date, not required, must be a valid date. And let's say must be between today and 130 years ago today. So we'll take people up to 130 years. All right, this one, it's not required. I'm not going to do anything with this. All right. This, not required, if added, must be a valid URL. And the credit card number, we're going to put in here, not required, and we will put in here, we'll check add-ons to see if we'll do this or not. All right, so I've got all that, taking it from the top. All right, I'm at 9 minutes, so this will only be probably an 11 or 12 minute long video. So the social security number is required, and it has to have this format. The first name is required, and it has to have this format. I'm sorry. Social security number required must be number dash number dash number. The first name, good morning, is required, and it must be between 2 and 50 characters. The last name, like the first name, is also required, must be between 2 and 50 characters. The address, let's make it, say it has to be at least 5. All right, I'm just making that up. For the address in the city. The city wouldn't have to be that long. The address will have to be we'll just leave it. We'll make both these 2 to 75 characters and required. The state is required, and you cannot just choose, please select your state. In other words, there has to be a valid selection made. The zip code is required, and it's got to be either in number format or in number dash number format. The cell phone is required, and it's in a number hyphen hyphen number format. The email is required, and it must be a valid email. The shift is required. The shift was morning, afternoon, or evening, so it's required, and only one must be chosen. All right. The contact via, one or more can be. And when I say must be, at least one of them we're thinking must be chosen. All right, the education is just like shift. All right, only one must be chosen. The password is required, and we're saying it must be between 10 and 25 characters in length. I'm not putting anything else on it. We could make it where it has to have a number, has to have a capital letter, has to have a special character. I'm not putting any of that stuff in there. All right, the confirm password is required, and the confirm must match whatever we put in for the password. The birth date is not required, but if we do put in a birth date, it must be a valid date. In other words, February 30th would be invalid type of thing. And if we do put in a birth date, it must be between today's date and 130 years ago from today's date. All right. Favorite color, I'm not going to do anything with that. Not required anyway. The personal website is not going to be required, but if it's been added, it must be a valid URL. And finally, the credit card number, I will take a look at the add-ons for the credit card and see if we put that in, how difficult that is. If it's not difficult, I'll add it. If it's too much, I won't. So these are my rules. So in other words, you'll notice that virtually almost everything that's in here, almost, has got 2 rules. The reason I'm bringing that up is I am going to use, now where did I put that? I think I called it syntax. I'm going to use this kind of syntax, basically, for virtually all of my rules. All right? So what I'm going to attempt to do in the next video are write out all of my rules. They won't yet be validated. So I will come in, I will download I will put my CDNs in for the software, all right, and I will write my rules. Then the rubber will or will not meet the road, in that what I have to do after that is I have to go in and write the associated messages. And we'll see if I can do all that without making too many syntax errors, all right, and get this done. If I don't finish it today, I'll work on it during my lunch, and I'll see how much I can get done, all right, but I will continue to work on it tomorrow. Now, in order to do this, as I already showed you earlier, is I'm going to end up, and this is way up there on about page 10 or something like that. I'm going to go out to this page, all right? So it's jQueryvalidation.org. jQueryvalidation.org, and then what else came after that? I think it was just documentation, right? Documentation. I want to find those rules. All right, so somewhere in here, this website has changed. So we've got here, you're probably looking for options. That's probably correct. maybe not. Rules. Messages. Well, this is a darn good site. So this is another one that should be added, but I wanted that list. Focus and balance. I don't know if that's the right one or not. So I'm going to come here and, for example, I'm just going to quickly look. And does this have required in here? Yeah, it does there, but that's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I'm looking for. So if I come down to the very bottom here, it looked like it had show errors, blah, 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 blah. Maybe I'll even do something on this. I don't know. I haven't read this yet. Categories, methods. Somewhere in here is something with required and etc. So what I have to find in here, and it looks like this could be the page, I want to find the equivalent of this, the list of built-in validation methods. Now maybe that's what I should just Google. jQuery validation plugin list of available validation methods. And I want methods, not methos. All right. Well, that isn't what I'm looking for, but it's off of here someplace. Reference documentation or rules. Let's look at those too. Pair messages. This again, I want a list. But I want a list of those rules. So I'm getting there. jQuery validator methods, I don't know. I think that's the one I looked at before. Yep. And it looks like they're here. All right, so this will have to be, I guess, another, this is a cheat sheet. So I'm going to print this out, but I'm also going to do a file save as, and I'm going to save this to the mess that I've been putting everything into. So what Mr. Gudmisted will get will be a listing of all of this stuff. So that's the cheat sheet. But I also want to make sure that I take this, which was my listing of all of this, the jQuery validator. Not that. I want the. Yep, that's my URL. So file, save as, and I want to save that to forms also. There we go. All right. So I'm sorry this took so long. In the next video, I'll be writing my rules based on what you see right here. All right.